pressure tight. We never slide. DJ calling routes, Cook holding down the line. Harris in the backfield, reading all the signs. Throne running deep, got that Razorback pride. Film on the screen, we break it down clean. Talk real ball, no script, no green screen. From the hill to the dome, we ride for the team. Red blood, white cleats, and a hog in the dream. Yeah. Yeah, film on the screen, we break it down clean. Talk real ball, no script, no green screen. From the hill to the dome, we ride for the team. Red blood, white cleats, and a hog in a dream.
Monday morning here on 4th and 5, and you are watching the Morning Huddle. Thank y'all for waking up with us and starting that week off with us. And guess what? We got a big-time show lined up for you here today. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we got on the playbook for you. We're going to talk about that tennis program. Quite the debate on social media right now. Also, our thoughts on the spring game, how the football team did. Our first glimpse at Ryan Silverfield's new team for the whole state to see. Also, Razorbacks drafted, continuing those dreams, and a little baseball wrap-up as well. We are set to go here on this morning. I'm DJ Williams. That's Grant Cook. Josh getting situated. Will join us here in just a second. But, man, Grant, I'm putting this show together last night. And I was like, dang, I hope we can fit all this into an hour. So much to talk about that happened over the weekend. But how you doing, man?
I'm good. Yeah, you sent us the little the rundown, and I was like, woo.
Yeah.
So it's a lot for an hour. I've seen them all the rundowns come over these last few weeks, and this one's got this text was a little bit longer.
Yeah,
so
a little bit longer.
We'll have to speed through a few things.
We will, and it's a couple just in case you missed it, and we'll talk about that here in a second. We got a great blitz segment for y'all today. That should be fun for a lot of people to talk about and people to win a little something. We may switch up to the way we go about winning things as well. But so many talkers. We're also going to talk about these NFL rookies, and they get that contracts, right? And the first thing they want to do, spend that money. We're going to talk about what situations we're just like, you know what? You've earned that. That's a good idea. And some where you're just like, ooh, I hope they got money when this is all said and done, because we all know how it goes. Most players that get out of the NFL end up broke. All right. I know it's hard to wrap your mind around until you've seen stuff like we've seen, and then it makes sense. It's more hard to wrap your mind around. Y'all, I'll tell you a story here in a second when it comes to that. But let's go ahead and get Josh in here. Josh, you good backstage? Good to go? And there he is. Josh, what's going on, man? How was your weekend? You were at a cabin this weekend? You went to a cabin?
I went out to the Arkansas River, man. Get your mind off of things. Get out in the nature.
Oh, okay.
Just check out, reset, come back, ready for 4th and 5.
Where the Arkansas River? I feel like that's
yeah. Buffalo.
Okay. I'm about to say that you could be anywhere.
Yeah, we don't typically, we don't typically go and float the Arkansas River. There's a lot of currents on that river and barges and things like that. But when you do float, get out there and do a little backwooding. You get out there, that Buffalo River.
That's right. Backwooding all day long. All right, y'all. It was impressive, and it was close. We always I've had like a little mental competition. Whoever has the first hello in the chat this morning. And it's really going to bug me because usually my chat's over here, but my monitor's in my car. I left it in my car. So forgive me if I get a little confused this morning, but Shannon Palmer was the first one in the chat. However, she said good morning, gents. He said good morning, gents. And Darren Hood said good morning, everyone, but they sent that in at the exact same time.
Oh, they did. I just see that. Yeah.
5:58:31. So we got a tie this morning. All right. That's awesome. We got Taco in the house, the Legend 86, Razorback Pride, Jim Gum. We got Audrey, Vanessa is up with us, Jonathan Armstrong, Mark Webb, Donna Lawson, Buffy. Jonathan, let's go. Bobby Andrews is in the house. We got Audrey. My mom's up with us. We're going to get rolling. A lot to talk about, a lot to review. So let's go ahead and start with the big talker over the weekend, and then we'll get into our first drive a little bit later, which is going to be about that spring game and our thoughts from the spring game. Players that stood out, players that kind of disappointed us. I was disappointed on a guy I was been praising a lot. We'll talk about that here in just a second. But before we get into that, a new, in case you missed it, sponsor, our Parlay and Eighth. We're moving them up, all right? They got a lot of cool things coming up. And don't forget, coming up very soon, Saturday May 2nd. If you like the Derby, got a little best dress competition that'll be happening this weekend, a chance to win a little something. And then Cinco de Mayo, they having a nice little takeover up there in Bentonville in the 8th Street Market on Parlay on 8th, as that will be the place to be. I think I'm going to try to make it up for that one, even though it's midweek. It should be a fun one. But let's get into the first topic. Arkansas ends its tennis program. Man, I put a post up on social media, fellas. Whoo! Sparked a little fire. People got real fired up about this one, and I get it. It's a very interesting thing moving forward when you look at the athletic department as a whole, especially when money starts becoming a thing, finances become a thing. You start worrying what program gets cut next, which one should be cut. We got some interesting opinions and, I guess, views on this. But before I give our comments on this, like I said, I posted online last night and had over close to about 400 comments. So obviously I can't show them all right now. I guess I could. It would take a while. But here's some that really stood out. This is from Drew Sosby. And I don't know if a lot of people from Arkansas may know this name. I know him because he's from Little Rock. I think he went to North Little Rock, but he played tennis at U of A. He's our class, or maybe a year younger. But he says, DJ, I know that you know this is wrong. This is not evolution. It is erosion. Clear as day, NIL is ruining collegiate athletics. This is a disgusting decision by our AD, and he's who really should be on the chopping block. And then you got a comment coming in from, this is Chris. Run the numbers. How many people watch tennis? How many times is it on ESPN? How much does it make on concession stands? I think gymnastics has a bigger demand for an audience than tennis. Don't hate tennis, but run the numbers. And then you got people saying like this, like Joe Parker. How many thousands of dollars per hour does the athletic department spend on the university's private jet? Just asking for a friend, alluding to, are there other ways that they could potentially save money to keep some sports on campus? So, fellas, let's get into it. I got thought I did at least. Yeah. This is from a quote from Hunter Yurachek. It says in a press release, very difficult decision that included considerable reflection and thoughtful discussion. We understand the disappointment and emotion this news brings to many. He said in a statement, the landscape of college athletics continues to evolve, requiring us to make challenging choices that is, as we balance competitive opportunities, resources, and long-term sustainability for our department. Ultimately, we concluded we were unable to provide the level of support necessary for our tennis programs to consistently compete in the SEC and nationally at the standard our student athletes, coaches, alumni, and supporters deserve. Arkansas reported more than $2.6 million combined of both teams. That's how much it cost in expenses. And they brought in close to about $10,000, according to a revenue stream from 2023 to 2024. So real quick, too, fellas, that's not even the biggest one. I think the one that stands off when you look at their revenue statements that were released, track and field, surprisingly, is one of the track and field and women's basketball, I think, are their two biggest ones that they're taking a hit on. And it's surprising when you talk about track and field because, basketball's not going anywhere because of Title IX. That it is what it is. And when it comes to this statement, when you hear Coach or Hunter Yurachek talking about we're not able to support them to compete at a level that is up to our standards, a lot of people think women's basketball right now because they get zero support financially to compete at a high level. And it's still draining the university when it comes to money. However, Title IX's there. They're not going anywhere. Okay, but then you look at a program that could potentially leave, and it's crazy to even say this because all they do is win national championships, but they lose almost the most money, and it's track and field, which is very interesting as well. But let's transition back to tennis, fellas. What do you think about this?
Go ahead, Grant.
Well, I mean, obviously you hate it for the student athletes the most. I mean, these people have pulled it in. I mean, at the end of the day, the guys that are here and the guys and girls that are here right now, because they're just completely up in the air. You hate to see a program completely go away, especially one that people have history tied to. I mean, I know the tennis players of the past feel the same way about that program as we do about the football program. So I hate it for those people. I hate it. I guess I understand it maybe from the university's perspective, but I think more things are going into it than just the financial side of it. Because again, track and field should be on the chopping block as well. But we all know, well, I say that, I could be surprised, but we all know if you're winning national championships, indoor, outdoor, year over year over year, you're not going anywhere, right?
Yeah.
I mean, but I would be interested to understand what the criteria was for making that decision. That would be kind of cool to see behind the scenes on, all right, is it financials is 51% of the equation, and then you break it down these three other ways. I don't know, but tough to see. No one wants to see a program go away, I think. But so be it, I guess. At the end of the day, this is the new world of how we have to support other sports financially.
Yeah, and Josh, before you answer too, when you talk about them only bringing in around $10,000, we got a viewer of ours. He goes by the username The Walrus, and he sent something over that was very interesting as well, talking about UCA's tennis program, and I need to check where he got it from. He usually does his research, but when UCA's tennis program is allegedly bringing in $300,000 and the University of Arkansas is bringing in 10, whose fault is it really? Are they just doing a better job of? I don't know. Now, I thought that was very interesting. It was almost kind of hard to believe. So I would love to see if I could find a way to make sure that is correct. But if it is, that would be very, very interesting. We got some comments coming in right now. Razorback Pride says track isn't going anywhere. Tyson will not let that happen. They have 16 sports to stay in division. They have to have 16 sports. We're at 17 now. And so you have to have 16 sports to stay in Division I status. Marcus Brown is up this morning. Fancy red mug came in over the weekend. Glad you got your mug. All right, send in a picture, Marcus, so we can throw that up. Nepo Harv says, look at the money Arkansas wastes on football coaches. Well, you got to spend money in that area, and then you got to hope one lands, okay? So we got to hopefully that gets rocking and rolling. Another thing people have said is tennis can become a club sport like hockey currently is up there in Northwest Arkansas. I know some people ain't trying to hear that, but it is what it is now. So what's next for the athletes up there? Also, I do want to say this too. What happens to the people who are currently on scholarship? What do? Their scholarships will be honored throughout the entirety of their stay in their pursuit to get their degree. So if it was a freshman who was on scholarship, they can stay the next however many years. School's paid for. All right. Don't even have to play. Now, they said they will encourage them to enter the portal, as they're going to let them open the portal immediately so they can transfer and play somewhere else next season. I'm assuming if you're playing tennis at the collegiate level, you probably want to continue to play at the collegiate level. So those players may transfer. Go ahead, Josh.
Well, I was going to get into that a little bit because you've got 21 different players that are on scholarship or something approximately like that at Arkansas. So yeah, they all get to stay at the university, but they all came to the university to play, tennis. I mean, some people, I remember when we were in college, it was like a good half of the tennis team was from different countries that we were going out and recruiting, bringing some of the best people in the world in. And I remember us being competitive. I didn't go to a lot of tennis matches, but I went to a handful, and they were fun to go to. I feel like this is one of those things where you're looking at all the revenue that it brought in. But, can you guys think of a time where the University of Arkansas was really pumping in and promoting tennis matches and trying to get people to go to them? For the most part, it just kind of flew under the radar until we had a couple standout people. But it wasn't like Arkansas was really trying. The athletic department was really focused on, hey, let's make tennis an experience, something fun to come to. I feel like it's amongst other sports, sometimes just kind of, pushed to the side, but then complained about when you got to make cuts like this. Like, oh, well, I guess we got to cut them because they're not putting, they're not making very much money. Well, there's been decades that we could have been trying to make this game, make this team profitable. And I feel like it's gotten overlooked. But now we're down to, I believe, and don't quote me on this, but I believe for the FBS, we have to have at least a minimum of 16 teams either male or female. But to DJ's point, you have with the Title IX requirements, if you have a male sport, you have to have a kind of equal opportunity for a female sport. So yeah, they cut both the men's and women's tennis teams. I think we're down to 17 teams total. Right? Am I correct?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you can't save any more money. You know what I mean? There's no more money to be saved now. You can't cut anything else, right? What are we laughing about?
Do you listen at all when people talk?
Nah.
Yeah. I
Are
gave
you
you
sure?
credit for what you said.
Oh, yeah. Is that what it is? We just
Did
said that.
you give him credit for what he said when he just said what you just said?
Yeah, I heard his Title IX talk.
Oh, about how we currently have you need 16 teams to stay eligible, and we currently have 17. You missed that part?
Yeah, I heard it. I'm just
okay. You're reiterating it. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
All
I think
right,
that's an important part because we're talking about what else could be cut here. I don't know that you can cut anything.
Yeah. Okay. We're just messing with
No, you can't.
Yeah, you're talking about like the track team. You can't cut it. You can't, like, even if you wanted to, even if you thought like it was, I mean, obviously it's one of the best sports that we have, but I'm saying even if you wanted to, you're handcuffed now is what I was just doubling down on what you're saying, brother.
I appreciate that. You know what I mean? All right, y'all. So once again,
you thought I didn't hear what you said?
It sounded like it, it came off that way, but
I did.
The way you're saying it now, you're actually kind of convincing me. And so that's very impressive too. So I'm not even really sure. Maybe you did.
I think they got a word for that. It's called gaslighting.
Did I get gaslit by Josh?
God, this way we're starting off on Monday. I like it.
Legend 86 says, Josh, need a minute to get going. All right. That's the thing. You just get up and rolling, ready to roll. All right, here we go. Let's get to the next one in case you miss it. Now, this will be a quick little recap, but we're going to dig a little bit more into the weeds in our first drive. But Razorbacks in the NFL now. So recap real quickly. Who went where? All right, let's talk about it. Round 3, Julian Neal, he's in Seattle. Round 4, picked 122, Mike Washington with the Las Vegas Raiders. I said Los Angeles Raiders the other day. Round 5, offensive lineman Fernando Carmona Jr. go to the Tennessee Titans. Round 6, Taylon Green got drafted, headed to the Cleveland Browns. Now, other players that are on rosters right now, they sign free agent deals, and they're going to be working out, go to camp, and try to make a roster. It'll be a tall task, all right? Cornerback Kenai Walker, he's with the Buffalo Bills. Wide receiver Raylan Sharp, he's going to be at Indy. Then you got offensive lineman Corey Robinson, Cincinnati Bengals. Xavier Zori is going to join Mike Washington over there with the Raiders. Then you got Rohan Jones, signed a free agent deal with the Los Angeles Rams. And then Cam Ball, signed to the Indianapolis Colts. All right, so a little bit later in the show, we're going to talk about which players do we believe will have the best immediate success in the NFL, long-term success, and which of these guys, it's going to be a really tall task to stay on that team by the end of camp to try to make it to that 53-man roster. All right, another thing that happened over the draft, just in case you missed it, SEC yet again dominated again. 87 picks in the draft. All right, set a new record. I think they broke their previous record. Listen to this, y'all. For the 20th straight year, the SEC has dominated the NFL draft. Talk about competition at a high level. The Big Ten finished second with 68 picks. Now, they did have 4 of top 11 picks this year over there at Ohio State. Then you got the ACC and Big 12. Texas A&M and Alabama were leading the SEC with 10 players drafted each. Next comes Georgia at 8. And then LSU, Florida, Texas each had 7. Missouri had 6, and then Auburn, Tennessee had 5, Arkansas and Kentucky with 4, and they wrap it up with South Carolina 3, Mississippi, Ole Miss each have 2. Surprise, Ole Miss only had 2 players drafted, right?
They all tried to stay in college.
And, yeah, they did. Yeah, you're right. They could have had a lot more players drafted. And then Vanderbilt, which was a surprise to some, maybe not all, they only had 1 player drafted, and that one player's name was not Diego Pavia. All right, so that brings me to Diego Pavia, fellas. When it comes to this guy right here, I wanted to ask the question. Undrafted, how much did he hurt his own stock? All right, you see that little picture? I mean, I think this is when people like say what?
Who is that?
Looks like Johnny
Johnny
Manziel.
It does
Manziel.
look,
Right?
okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
That's what I just said. Yeah.
So
okay.
during the season, during all like the weekend breaks and stuff, my guy liked to party, and he says as long as it doesn't affect my play, this is just who I am, you know. But I think whoever his circle is, he is surrounded by yes men. Remember we talked about that the other day. He didn't have anyone saying, Diego, stop being a
not do this.
dumbass.
Yeah.
Sorry for my language, but you think it's cool and funny that you're going to go hang out with Johnny Manziel, and it may be cool and it may be fun, you know, but you're not thinking big picture. Do you honestly think that NFL executives, GMs, and head coaches want to draft somebody that went down the path that Johnny Manziel went down? All right. And you may say that has nothing to do with this. You are the company you keep. Okay. I didn't just wake up one day and thought of that on my own. I heard that from growing up in a world of sports and hearing it from coaches. It's just coach talk. It's what they believe. And like, you know, during bye weeks, hopping on the private jet, go hanging out and doing all this stuff. It was often what they saw was, if we draft this kid who's already 5'9", small hands, did not do well at the combine or the Senior Bowl, all that stuff. If we draft this kid and he ends up being an issue, God, everybody's going to say, how stupid are we as a program to draft this guy? All the signs said it. This guy comes with baggage. I get your family moves in a certain way. You got your mom getting hit on by Theo Vaughn, you know, dancing and stuff over the rails at games, brothers getting into fights. And y'all, it was just, I could see a lot of teams saying this outside of you having a good span, like a lot of college athletes do who are just good in college. I mean, you're looking at one right now. You know what I mean? I was much better in college. I was a much better college prospect than NFL prospect, right? And Diego is in that same category. Nothing jumps off the screen or chart of saying, hey, this dude looks like he has all the right tools to have a very long NFL career. And so they don't have that to lean back on. All they have to say is, we do know if he ends up being an issue once he gets here, it's going to surprise no one. And so they don't roll the dice on this guy. But what do you think about Diego's Pavia rise to fame, and did he hurt himself when it comes to not getting drafted?
I think he had a heck of a college career. I want to give him all the credit and kudos for his college career. But I think when the NFL scouts started looking at it, they said the juice ain't worth the squeeze. He's 5'9.5", like you said. You've got age 24 right now. It's not like he's coming in and being your franchise quarterback immediately. He's going to have to sit behind someone, try to learn and grow. And then what? You're 30 years old after a few years in the league. And then how many years do you really have to lead our franchise? And then you have every single thing you said about the off the field issues that he didn't help himself with. And so now he's in this situation. It's a tough lesson to learn because you already needed everything off the field to help you, because on paper, you've got some nice stats. It was college, though.
He balled out in college. Yeah.
You got some nice stats, but it was college, and everything else you do needs to be helping you, not hurting you. And that's just what we've seen. We've seen him hurt himself.
Yeah, you guys nailed it. I don't think he shot himself in the foot. I think he blew it off.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, everything he wanted was right out there in front of him. All he had to do was, there's a certain point where talent overrides maturity and decision making and all of that, and it doesn't with Diego Pavia. He's just going to come in and be a distraction for a team, I think. So they're not going to go spend money on a guy like that. He may end up in the NFL one day, but I get why he wasn't drafted. That wasn't a giant surprise for me, I don't think.
Jeez, I can't. I'm not gonna read that one.
I saw it. I saw it. It was a good comment.
It was a good
John Matthews, good comment. Can't read it, but good comment.
Chris Caver says he didn't even get a free agent deal. He got invited to a mini camp. That's going to happen to a lot of players. Bo says someone needs to give him that tough love, and this may be the slice of humble pie that he needs. It just depends on how he responds. But there was just too many things. The Heisman ceremony, feeling like he got gypped in the Heisman ceremony, then going to Vegas and having the bottle service girls saying F Mendoza on the signs or something like that when it comes to not winning the Heisman. It's just, whew. I mean,
Indiana.
He's the first.
Oh, yeah,
Heisman
it was F
finalist in
Indiana?
history not to get drafted.
yes, I think so. I could be wrong, but
I mean, way back, maybe. But I mean, in the last couple of decades, I think he's the only Heisman finalist ever to not be drafted.
there's been some who have just not wanted to play at the next level. Right.
I'm saying
Who-
obviously not him.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, he wanted to progress. So if
Yeah.
you turn down the opportunity, I feel like that's different than, there may have been some guys in the military as well, or like at one of the military schools that couldn't get drafted back in the day.
And
So-
I would love to be a fly on the wall or a bug inside of a phone line, right? Because these coaches do their homework. And we all know the head coach over there at Vanderbilt. I love this guy. What is it? Is it Lee? Something Lee?
yeah, Clark Lee.
Awesome coach. Awesome coach. You know, these coaches called him and said, be honest with us. What are we getting into? What do you think that coach said?
Well, Diego's a great kid, and I think he's going to help any program that he goes to. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know, because his reputation's on the line. Because when they call and ask about another player, they want the truth, So
No doubt.
I'd be very.
When he was interviewing with John Gruden and said something about not wanting an agent because he didn't want anybody else taking it, getting his money. I was thinking like, if that came from a humble kid, it might sound a little bit different. But the fact that he's saying it is like, man, all you needed was an agent. He would have earned his money in keeping you off of your phone, telling you what to say and not say, helping you navigate your way through all the meetings that you're going to have. Half the time, like he just needed a leash on him, just being like, dude, stop talking. Don't go there. Come back here. Go to training. Be quiet. You should go dark. Let everybody, the last thing they heard about Diego Pavia was his last game, not anything off the field.
Yeah.
There's been a couple.
I
I take my previous statement back, by the way.
I'm reading them right now. Colin Klein didn't get drafted.
Jordan Lynch.
Yep. Okay.
Jason White from Oklahoma.
That's
was
who
not
I was
drafted.
thinking about. I don't think he wanted to play. He had
Did
like
he get hurt.
He looked like he was 50 years old out there playing. 2 bad knees. That he had
like
Adrian
two-
Peterson.
He had 2 Don Joys on. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
running
he
around
did
out
as a
there.
quarterback. Also, and I want to say this from what I know of, Diego hasn't gotten in any trouble. He just has all the signs of, something
He's
could
on the
happen.
verge.
Yes, but
He's not in trouble, but he can see it from there.
there's no
kinda thing.
police record that I'm aware of. There's not that. I haven't, and so I don't twist what we're saying. Like, we don't really have a reason to say he's not a good kid at all. There's just a lot of signs. Okay.
For the most part, NFL teams want quarterbacks to act a particular way. And sometimes you can be good enough and you don't have to do it.
Yeah.
But
Well,
for the most part,
somebody said, like, the NFL has such a moral code. Like, don't forget that they did draft in the first round an offensive lineman. Maybe he dropped after this video came out of him smoking marijuana through the gas mask, the bong and stuff.
Oh,
Now, I get
Tunsil, Laramie Tunsil.
Yeah, Larry Tunsil. Probably not the best look, but he was really, really talented. You know what I mean? So, like you said, I agree with you. Moral code probably isn't there, especially if the players have the talent to back it up. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and get into the first drive. Let's talk some spring ball. What we saw out there. What do we think about this game? Let's be honest. Let's be real. Let's get to it. As we get into the first drive, I want to take a second to thank our sponsors for the first drive, our friends over there in Southwest Auto Collection in Arkadelphia. You need a new ride and you need one now, I'm pointing you in the right direction. Trust me on this one. Great people, great customer service, and for new vehicles, tires for life. What are we talking about? No payments for 90 days on select models as well. If you happen to go out to Arkadelphia and go visit my friends in person, when you're going to pull up, you're going to say, which dealership is it? It's all 3 of them. Yeah, they got a whole lot full of dealerships ready to go. But if you can't make it out there, it's fine. We understand a lot of people. Don't you do that, Grant. We got a lot of people who like to shop online nowadays, and they got it all set up. Easy to use website, idriveswa.com. And when you find that vehicle, work out the financing options, get the trade deal worked out. They'll drive the vehicle to you. Doesn't matter where you are. So you're looking for a ride and you can't find it, go ahead and visit my friends at idriveswa.com. There's a good chance you'll find exactly what you're looking for. All right, here we go. Let's get into it. Spring ball, y'all. Thoughts on the spring game? We're going to hear from Ryan Silverfield on his thoughts from the spring game, some players that surprised us, some players that disappointed us, the makeup of the spring game. I thought it was a good feel, good environment, but we have to address something before we get started. I was really disappointed. Tug of war.
It was bad.
It was bad. It's bad.
How bad?
About as bad as
I was thinking about as bad as the tug of war could go.
But bad to me means that the players didn't win very easily.
They didn't.
Oh, that's
win.
what you thought bad? No,
Period.
No.
Oh.
So remember, we had some fun festivities, and we kind of made light fun of it. 10 fans got to play tug of war against 5 offensive linemen. And Grant, you were right.
Well, they were defensive linemen in there now too.
Big boys. Okay, so you were right. They didn't send out the best play. They sent out the meat. All right, they brought out their big boys.
Some big fellas. Yeah.
I looked at the student section. I was thinking all week, y'all, we're going to have some, the dudes that are in the hyper getting the pump in, the one guy who says I was one knee injury away from making it to the league. I thought we had a whole group of these people. Oh, no. This was just Sarah, who's in Cayo, serving up at Chicken Finger Friday. We had Jimmy, who's leading Campus Crusades for Cry. I mean, it wasn't what I thought. All right. I said, oh, man, these kids are about to get obliterated. As soon as that whistle blew, it wasn't even close, Josh. The students dominated in tug of war. And I talked to you, Grant, about this. Like in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, it has to be like some type of physics things. What's the equation that you can put together that, gives you an advantage per person? I don't know. We didn't take time to do the scientific research behind
Mass
this.
versus force divided by, like how does that work? All I know is that, like in a tug of war, everybody gets that lean.
Yeah.
This. And then like the team that starts losing starts getting up on those toes and they're kind of like, tip, 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 like that. That's what happened quick, Josh. And I was like, oh, you don't come back from that in tug of war.
No, you don't. There's no way coming back.
You don't.
It looked like the students were more together. It looks like they maybe put in some work and they had an idea and they had a strategy. So the
Razorbacks didn't let them win here.
No.
I don't think so. This was like we if they did, I mean, we need to see them at the Academy Awards because it was a legit. It looked very convincing.
It did look legit. It looked very legit. But all right, let's get back to the spring game. Once again, thoughts on this game. A couple players that stood out, and I'll say this too. I hate the fact that we can't go back and watch this game. I know a lot of people wanted it to be broadcast. We selfishly wanted to do that because that's the best way that we can evaluate, because when you try to evaluate 22 guys on one snap, it's almost impossible to see everything that happens live in one play. So you got to pick one player and hope that play involves them. Because if it doesn't, you're like, dang it, I missed a rep. All right. So as far as giving a legit evaluation, I don't think we can right now. We can point out a few players that, jumped off the screen. I do have some stats from this game, some unofficial stats, and I grabbed these. Who did I grab these from? I think it was Whole Hog Sports. They did a pretty good job putting this together. Ethan Westerman. First of all, he's another guy over there at Whole Hog Sports. He writes some good stuff. He had a really good write-up on the game. I'm not sure where he was sitting. Maybe in the press box. I don't know. Really good write-up on this game. Official passing stats for the game. KJ Jackson was 9 of 13, 129 yards, 1 touchdown. A.J. Hill, 9 of 17, 95 yards, 1 interception. That was a pick 6. Cade Trotter, 5 of 11, 40 yards. Braden Fuller, 0 for 2. Rushing, Cam Suttles had a day. 7 carries, 57 yards, 1 touchdown. Braylon Russell, 6 carries, 35 yards. Jasper Parker, 5 carries, 25 yards. The young guy, TJ Hodges, 8 carries, 17 yards. Grant, you brought up a very interesting comparison when seeing TJ Hodges out there on the field, because he accelerates really, really fast, and he happens to wear the same number, and he also has dreads. I don't know if it's all these things that makes us feel like this, but you brought up a player that kind of reminds you of TJ Hodges.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm sure some folks remember from Ole Miss, Dexter McCluster. He was kind of I don't know how they used him in different ways, almost how we used to use like Michael Smith back in the day, or
except he touched the ball 20 plus times a game.
McCluster.
Well, I agree.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, He was almost their version of Felix Jones.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, not their every down back. Maybe he turned into that later in his career, but Hodges was really, I mean,
he has flashes.
He kind of stood out. It just kind of, now, what would you say? Did you say 7 carries for 17 yards?
8 carries for 17 yards.
8 carries for 17 yards. I would have thought it was more than that.
Yeah.
Now, we didn't have the best vantage point, really. We weren't very high when we were watching this game. So you couldn't really see a lot of and we were in the end zone, so you couldn't really see. But I liked his athleticism. It showed up on the field. I mean, 8 carries for 17 yards doesn't really, sound that great, but he looked good.
He did. But I still go back to who looked really good. And it was our young guy that's been grinding it out at the University of Arkansas, Cam Settles. I'm about to play a soundbite from Coach Ryan Silverfield talking about Cam Settles. I'll also say this too. I don't know if y'all follow him on social media. He's kind of like he does like a lot of point of view videos, POV videos or whatever of him and he narrates them. He's actually a really funny follow. So I suggest y'all go follow him on social media. But here's Ryan
right now.
Yeah, here's Ryan Silverfield on Cam Settles.
We saw a lot of Cam Settles today. Just what have you thought of his spring overall and then the day he had today?
Yeah, I've been really, really pleased with Cam. He's a young man that I had recruited hard at our last stop, and I just think he's a dynamic back. I think he's one of those guys, you hate to sit there because I think all of our running backs have the ability to catch the football, but he's really good, catching routes. He runs great wheel routes. He's good on screen game. And then he's learned to run north and south. When I remember Cam, I used to sit there and think of hey, he's a lighter back. No, he's 208 pounds. I mean, he's going to be 215 pounds before we know it. He runs hard. He's got great vision. And so I think he's one of those guys that we got to see those gradual steps as he understood this offense. Hey, where's this ball supposed to hit on the inside zone? Where it should have hit on the pin and pull scheme? And he continues to understand that. So I've been quite proud of him. He's taken a lot of pride in pass protection as well. So Cam certainly has an arrow going up.
Arrow going up in the right direction. We had the conversation, fellas, about who is the number 3 back. Looks right now, Cam Settles earned it. What are you giggling at over there? I saw you giggling backstage. What are you giggling at? What did I do?
You're a funny man, my brother.
Did I do something else?
No, you're good, man. You're good. I do want to say this about Cam Settles, and just being a coach guy, you start doing stuff the right way, you find yourself on the field.
What's wrong with y'all?
Yeah, that's very true, Grant.
What's wrong with y'all?
You get the job done. You do what you're supposed to do. You're getting on the field. That's right.
Talking about yes. Pass protection. You take your pride in things that don't matter. I mean, we talked about that some, I think, already this year. Like, you're doing things the right way. Coach is going to give you opportunity to play. It just is what it is. I mean, and now obviously talent plays into that as well. But I mean, for a guy like Cam Settles going to be here hanging around, you got to take pride in the small things. I think about like guys that go on to special teams, mostly defensive players. I feel like are on special teams, but they start their career on special teams and they're just going all out on special teams. Later in their career, they end up being the middle linebacker.
Right. You guys, I didn't get to go to the game, obviously, but moving from Cam Settles, the quarterback, DJ, you said there's a pick by A.J. Hill.
Yeah.
Both of the quarterbacks seem to throw the same amount of completions, interceptions, close enough, right? But Arkansas, my vantage point, I was following on social media a little bit this weekend. Arkansas was playing that replay, a little bit of A.J. Hill running into the end zone, wearing that all-black jersey.
First of all, are you – sorry, finish. You're about to ask about that.
I was just trying to say, was there anything that you took away from either quarterback that made you feel
this
good?
Was another reason it's hard to evaluate this game. What is one of the biggest elements of this offense, an RPO, is the element that the quarterback will be involved heavily in the running game. Black jerseys on, for the most part, they're going to hand it off every single time. It keeps backside not honest. It got down to the goal line. They said, okay, we know we can't tackle the quarterback. And then the edge lost contain. A.J. Hill ran it in. And so I don't think seeing this, and even Silverfield said they held back a lot as far as how much they wanted to put out there. This is just very fundamental base type stuff. But it's going to be so hard to evaluate what we saw offensively when the quarterbacks aren't live. That's a huge element. It's 33% of this offense, all right? And it helps with the other ones. I mean, it wasn't a great day in the air, because they knew one element they don't have to worry about, as far as the DBs are concerned. So it's a very, I would say, what's the word I'm looking for? Deceptive game to kind of evaluate because of the quarterbacks not being live. John Matthews in with the super chat real quick. He says, funny story. I talked to Antonio Jordan and said, I saw one catch that was really impressive. He said, actually, there was like 4 really good ones. I'm glad you brought that up, John Matthews. I was not particularly impressed with our receivers Saturday. But apparently it wasn't just me either. Coach Silverfield had a few things to say about too many, like he said, don't drop the damn ball. They had a lot of drops. Chris Marshall, my guy, and I've been praising him all year long. Was very underwhelming. There's a couple plays that I think he could have made. There was one particular, Grant. It was a one-on-one, kind of a back shoulder throw to the end zone that we were sitting at. And it would have been a really, really, really tough catch. But it seems like he didn't even try, which is weird because we've seen him in practice make some really, 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 really tough catches. And that was he had a couple drops as well. But before we talk,
six.
Yeah, and he's involved in the pick six. There was some miscommunication. They asked AJ Hill about this after the game. And we'll talk about that after we hear a comment from Ryan Silverfield about the receiving group. But yeah, we're going to talk about that pick six and whose fault was it? Yeah. I was more concerned about what happened after the pick, mental things.
Agreed.
All right, we'll talk about that as well. All right, here's Coach Ryan Silverfield on the receiving core.
I've told some of those wide receivers, we have some of these wide receivers that, man, they have a big play that shows up on social media, but where the hell are you on the other 50 plays? And I think for all of our wide receivers, that's my challenge, right? Like I frankly don't give a darn if you're making one good play. That's great. But what else are you doing? Because if the rest of the time it's a missed assignment, a possible loaf, not blocking, that's not good enough. You're not going to play. And I need all those guys, CJ included, to step up on special teams. And that's not coach speak. That's going to be part of it. Because I think if you look at our wide receiver group as a whole, collectively we got some really good players. We got some good depth. But ultimately, right, who are those guys that are going to be the true playmakers and can do it consistently? And then the rest of those guys, where do they show up on special teams?
But tighten up over there in that receiver room. And that's the way that it works. You got to contribute. I know they got 6 guys that they want to rotate. You can't put all 6 on the field at the same time. Still got to be a part of the team and be ready when your name is called. But as far as the interception, so it was a option route. Chris Marshall had an option. I will say it was slow developing, and usually in option routes, this is where it gets wrong. AJ Hill thought he knew what he was going to do. Chris Marshall made the break, and then he ended up holding up on it because there was a defender there, and that's where AJ Hill threw the ball. Boom, pick 6, okay? So it's very easy to say, Chris Marshall, if that's where you're going, make up your mind and finish the route. If not, it's going to end up being picked, okay? So that's your fault. Then there's the other way of looking at this. Option routes, quarterbacks. If your guy does not make that decision when he's supposed to, you have to get off of him. Throw the ball away, run, because what happens is if it's an option route and it develops really slow and you're not sure what he's trying to do up there, there's a really high probability you're going to throw a pick. You know what I mean? So it's wrong on both of them. All right. But the ball was still thrown, which should not have happened. The route should have not been broken off or stopped. I get all that. But now it's happened. It's all said and done. We can't go back and do anything about it. This is where I have an issue. Chris Marshall, I'm assuming, is a little bit more athletic than the linebacker that picked him off, okay? As soon as that pick was thrown, he stopped, and he put his hands down to his side, and then he went like this to AJ. And as the play is going on,
go get him.
Running down the field. They're running down the field.
They're having a conversation. He's like, they're doing this. And then he's like, you can't hear what they're saying. You can probably fill in the blanks. They're like, your play's still going on. I mean, like, you can have that conversation on the sideline here in about 10 seconds, okay? But the mental aspect of, and this is tough, y'all, because Tim Cramsey brought this up the other day about, I want to see how they handle adversity and when things go wrong. That was the worst thing that could have happened. It should have instinctively been a reaction of, let me go make this tackle. But it wasn't that at all. It was, it was both of them pointing the finger at each other of talking about whose fault it was as this guy is running. Now, I will say this. This is their first kind of maybe situation they've been in, and it's been practice, and they've never had to switch. Oh, this is live. I need to go tackle this person right now. That could have fell into the category as well. But it was just the how fast it went to both of them pointing fingers, you know?
Yeah.
That's on the sideline type stuff. Figure it out. I hated seeing the reaction right there.
DJ, you could attest to this, though. I mean, when you're talking about quarterbacks, receivers, tight ends, whatever it is, the relationship between them, when you start having guys out there that got option routes and the confidence in your offensive coordinator on calling those plays because you believe in Chris Marshall, whoever the guy is going to be able to pick the right option. Right now, it's early in their relationship, just as quarterback and receiver, let alone trying to integrate the ability for the wide receiver to be determining his option and the quarterback being able to be right on time with that. Is that something you just say naturally gets better? Longer you play, the more they get in this, they're going to work that out. Like, are you really that worried about the pick and the miscommunication right now?
Great point, Josh. It is new, and they're still building chemistry. I agree especially when it comes to option routes, because I knew for a fact, even when I was running my option routes, I mean, it was my bread and butter. Scat 73 Miami. All right. It's DJ one-on-one with somebody over the middle. We'll figure out who that someone is once the play develops or what zone I need to sit in. But even in the man-to-man ones, when I tried to do something, I was like, dang, I should have went the other way. I had to commit to the first decision I made because I knew that was me telling Mallet, this is where I'm going. You know, like even though every part of me says, oh, this is wrong, I can't change my mind now because I'm going to put him in a bad spot if I do. It does take time to kind of get used to that. Usually that's it. I mean, you got to make the right choice and stick to it. You can't second. Coach Chip Long, I can't say what he said, what he called it. God, almost about got us canceled. But he had a very interesting way of making sure I didn't forget that. Let's go to the receiving room. How about that? How did we do in the air? C.J. Brown, 3 receptions, 83 yards, and a touchdown. He had a long touchdown run down the left sideline heading towards, what is that, north or south end zone? South end zone. Outside of that, kind of an underwhelming day. Chris Marshall, 3 receptions, 35 yards. A few drops that I remember. Antonio Jordan, 2 receptions, 34 yards. Jamari Hawkins, 2 catches. Ty Lockwood, my tight end, 3 catches, 15 yards. Cam Settles, along with those rushing yards, had 2 receptions for 15 yards. Got to like that. Then we got some young guys kind of rounding it out. A couple 1 receptions, a couple drops from there. Defensively, Ben Bogle led the way with 10 tackles. Charlie Collins had 6. Joker, our DB, Jaheim Johnson, had 4 tackles. Lakai Rowland, he popped up, number 4, our DB he was on the red team. I like this guy at corner. He plays with a certain type of edge, very confident. And like you said the other day, Grant, he be chirping. All right. And,
yeah, he does.
He's playing football the right way.
Chirping.
Yeah, he be chirping out there. The interception, goodness. I don't even want to try to butcher this name.
This is your thing, man. You just
go
got to let it rip.
This is whenever you do this, and then later on in the season, I repeat it, you're going to get on to me.
I don't even know where to start. I think his last name is Ginyu, but the first name is NsoNgbeh.
I got to see it written.
Yeah, it's tough.
That sounds like a tough one.
Yeah. Yeah, he had the pick for 43 yards back to the house. Another name that popped up, Steven Souls, transfer Jack player that they were very excited about, stepped up in a big way. Quincy had 1 sack, but Steven Souls had 2 sacks. Other players that I was looking to do well that I wanted a little bit more out of were our transfer defensive tackles, Zadavian Sims and Hunter Osborne. I still think they got work to do. I still think there is time to get it done. I would have liked more from them. Didn't see a lot. A young guy popped off the screen. I think Danny Bill is going to end up being a pretty darn good football player. Our young freshman from Cross County, he's a big old boy down there. But
he looks good.
He looks good. Has good hips, real explosive. I think this is where it gets weird, y'all. All these things, I see young guys, I see the development, things to get excited about as a program. But like now it's just like I have this thing in the back of my mind. I'm like, God, I hope Danny doesn't go anywhere next year. I hope Antonio Jordan doesn't transfer next year. Antonio Jordan's going to have a lot of opportunity next year in the portal. I'm going to tell you that right now. And he's one you can't lose. You can't lose that guy. Those are things that concern me as well. But that was my overall thoughts of the spring game. Still a lot of work to do. Does it change where I think we're going to be as far as the end of the year season total? I still think we're around that 6 range, maybe a 7 at the bowl game. Just right now. Still a lot of work to do. Grant, as we wrap the spring game thoughts up, any last closing remarks on that?
No, I think you're right. I mean, obviously there's still some chemistry things we're working out, and going kind of back to the Chris Marshall, AJ Hill thing. I don't necessarily care that they were, talking it out aggressively toward each other. It looked like, because I think you got to have that, and you got to have that competitiveness and that fire. Overall, I don't know that there was just one person I was like, wow, look at that,
Yeah.
But I'm more worried about, okay, that was the 15th practice of spring. That was the 15th time they all got together on a football field together as this team and coaching staff and the whole thing. Now let's go continue to build that camaraderie through the summer with the strength staff, getting our bodies right to go compete, and then really start ramping it up in whenever camp starts, beginning of August or whatever that timeline looks like to get rolling into the season. I always love the start of the season because you finally get to hit somebody in a different colored jersey.
Yeah.
And they're wearing a different logo on the side of their helmet. And as soon as that first game's over, I'm going to be like, all right, I'm ready for them to go play somebody else that's actually, a really competitive team. And we're going to get that early with Utah. So I hope we take it all serious this summer and through the early fall as we're getting ready for that group.
All right, let's get to our second topic. Razorbacks in the NFL, fellas. Let's get into it. Which one? This is where it's going to be fun. Out of everybody who's going to be, it doesn't matter if you're drafted or in camp. Which ones do you think have the best shot of having a good NFL career? A lot of it has to do with where you end up, where you are on the depth chart. I don't know if you heard the FaceTime call, actually, with Taylor Green and the Cleveland Browns. Mm-hmm. The GM says, I want to let you know it's going to be a tough battle in the quarterback room. Mm-hmm. That's Coach Stalkov saying, we kind of know where we want to go. But get in here. Time to get to work. And we're going to see what happens. All right.
Well,
so
if there's the best room he could be in, right,
I agree.
In the NFL,
you couldn't ask for a better room in a quarterback room than in Cleveland.
Room, but also,
or
quarterbacks have gone to die over the past decade. That's where it is as well.
This is where it's like, if you're going to be a quarterback, Taylor Green, this is the opportunity over here in Cleveland. So we'll find out, and so will you. Okay. Now let's go through the list up and lineup of these guys. Bring this back up. You see, I went through the names earlier. You got Mike Washington, running back over there with the Raiders. Julian Neal. So many different guys that are going to be in there. And we'll kind of briefly talk about the guys that got picked up on deals. And I'll just go ahead and get these names out of the way. No disrespect. It's going to be tough for Connie Walker to make a team. I know he has the size, but from what I saw on film, it's going to be tough. Raylan Sharp, it's going to be tough for him to make a team. Just because of the size, unless he runs like a 4.2 type 40, it's going to be tough unless you are the route runner of route runners, okay? Corey Robinson, you don't get – I think he has a potential of making a team. Yeah. I'll say that. Even though he went undrafted, just from what we've seen on film, competing at a high level – that's where, I think the edge usually goes to people who are just born with the size. If you have skill to go with it, your chances, it really does help yourself. Xavier Sorey, I actually think he has a pretty good shot to make a team, only because he balled out at the Senior Bowl and he balled out the year before. I don't know what happened last year with him. His film was god-awful. It was. However, I think you're going to see how important special teams is in the NFL just because they have limited rosters and even more limited people who can dress up on game day. You need somebody who can do it all. He can play all 4 phases of special teams, and he can be a serviceable linebacker if he has to get in. But he needs to commit right now to being a special teams demon. Tight end Rohan Jones. Ooh, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. Physically, he looks the part. Wish he was a little taller.
I feel like he's a guy who could make a team just on special teams, though, just off of effort and physicality.
He's going to be in the same boat of, I guess, Xavier and Sori. Now, how good of a downfield tackler is Rohan Jones? I don't know. Sori has shown that he can be one. Defensive lineman Cam Ball. I think this one's going to be tough. Just because I think Cam Ball just learned there's a lot of Cam Balls out there. And so what's separating me? Now, he's another one who has the size that you're born with, that if you can make it work once you get there, you have a chance to do something. But it's going to be an uphill battle for all these guys. Now, as far as the guys that got drafted, the one that I think will have the best long-term success, man, I would probably lean more towards Julian Neal. Just because of the size, the athleticism, and his ability to play multiple positions in the defensive back room and special teams as well. That would be my pick. Mike, obviously, I think is going to do great wherever he goes, and he's going to the Raiders, so he's going to get opportunity quick over there in Vegas. And I think Carmona, if he settles in, he could play for the next 12 years. I think so. I really do. Fellas, what do you think?
Well, I think Matt Harris has been preaching all year long that he really liked Julian Neal, and Julian Neal was a guy that he was keeping his eye on. And I think when you have a defense, be it your defensive coordinator or your other defensive players that are just leaving holes wide open on the defense, it kind of can overshadow you. So I don't even think we really got to experience totally the type of player that Julian Neal really was, just because we were getting beat. 2-win team, defense is blowing it wide open, but he had sparks where clearly NFL scouts go, man, this guy can play. Yeah, he's got all the size and intangibles. So I like it. I agree with you, DJ. I think he's probably got like one of the longest potential careers out of all the guys that got drafted, just because he fits that NFL kind of caliber defensive back. And Seahawks is a great place to be if you're going to be a defensive back. So I'm excited to see him play. And I got to give credit to Matt Harris, man. He's been saying it all year.
Grant?
Yeah, well, I was going to say between Julian and Mike probably. Now, running back's a tough position to have a really long career at.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just is what it is. It's the nature of the position. I would love to see Carmona play for a long time. I think he's going to have some opportunity in Tennessee. The other one is Corey Robinson. What I saw on film last year, I think it translates well to the NFL. And the Bengals have had pretty tough go on the offensive line. So it was nice to see that he went to a team that I think he can contribute to and that needs some help. I mean, Joe Burrow's been running for his life the last 2 or 3 years. So I'm hopeful for that guy. The other ones, I mean, it's a crapshoot, and you know how it goes. I mean, it's the team and what they need and how you can contribute. I think Cam Ball is going to be tough for, because usually defensive linemen are not contributing to special teams. You get some of these skill guys, they can find a niche somewhere on special teams, like Connie Walker or someone like that. I mean, it takes a few good plays through a preseason campaign for someone to go, you know what, let's throw this kid on a practice squad and let's see what happens with him, right? And I think all of these guys are practice squad capable.
Yeah,
even the ones that we feel like are a little bit, I don't know quite yet. But I mean, man, I think the NFL team maybe feel that way about them too. But the next couple of months are going to be very important for these guys. OTAs, and then going into the preseason for them to find their way either onto a roster or to stay on a practice squad.
I'd love to know if we broke the record for the most NFL guys getting signed, either draft or free agent, on a 2-win team. I'd love to know that.
Gotta be.
But the other thing I was going to say is that I wish you had this clip, DJ, because I was listening to I think may have been Cleveland radio or something like that. But Taylor Green's calling in, doing his PR tour after getting drafted, and he's talking to someone about what he's bringing to the table there in Cleveland. And they're, they kind of softball him like, hey, what can we expect to see from you or something like that. And he goes on talking about like, hey, I'm a dog, welcome to the dog pound. I can't wait to be there. Like, I'm the type of guy that's going to lower my shoulder, and I'm going to bring that type of effort to get that extra yard. I'm going to hurdle somebody if I have to, and blah, blah, blah. And in my mind, I'm going, this is not what you need to be saying. You're trying to play quarterback.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to be lowering your shoulder in the NFL. You don't need to be hurdling anyone. This is not what NFL scouts or team want to hear their quarterback.
They're going to be like, it sounds like you should play receiver.
Right, exactly. Like, he didn't say one thing about pocket passing.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm really committing to my craft in the pocket, and I want to develop that. And, now I'm about to just take the ball and run people over.
No, exactly. I was like, wow. I mean,
I know we need to get rolling, but did y'all see the call with Sean McVay and Ty Simpson?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like, let's make history, coach. And he's like, yeah, no. I mean, you could tell.
Yeah.
He was not involved in that pick.
100%. Yeah, that's where it gets very interesting. The dynamic of how they do it in the NFL, opposed to like college. Like, coaches, for the most part, they just show up. Hey, who are you going to get for me?
I'm paying you to be a coach.
Unless you're like Bill Belichick, who had a GM role. Bill Belichick had a GM type role along with his head coaching role as well.
Moneyball is the greatest example of that with the coach.
So
really
good.
Being
So good.
Anyway.
You got to trust your staff. All right, we're about to get to the blitz. I'm sorry, I forgot to open up our call line, so I'm going to open up that right now. So please take a second to hear our voice assistant connect us to the show.
You're connected as the host.
Yep.
Welcome, host.
Thank
you
you.
are now in the host room and can manage your callers from the call-in studio web interface.
You dang right we can. All right, the phone lines are open if you want to put in any 2 cents on the phone. All right, we got to figure out who we're playing for, and we're gonna fine tune the way we start giving away stuff because I feel bad because I give away a mug every day, and I'm not the one who makes them or sends them out. It's Valerie. All right, so we're gonna figure out a way to maybe build up something to do a little bit bigger giveaway at the end of the week. But maybe the winners during the week put their name in the hat to be the person who wins the overall prize. I'm thinking maybe a 4th and 5 hoodie, and a coffee mug. All right. So that but we'll cross that bridge later. Right now, a mug is on the line. So vote for who you want to play for you today in our Blitz category. And the winner will receive a mug, and we'll talk more about the other stuff a little bit later. But before we get into that, we got a great Blitz lined up for you. Got to show some love to our sponsors of the Blitz. Let's get to it. Ortho Arkansas, #1 spot to go to for any orthopedic need. That's right, 10 locations across the state. You got the best physicians that you are going to find, extended urgent care hours at Ortho Arkansas. You can find more information at orthoarkansas.com. But once again, the #1 spot, any orthopedic need. It doesn't matter if you got a bad back, shoulder, neck's been bothering you. You got something's going on with that wrist. You got to get your wrist figured out. They got great foot and ankle, knee and hip. They got it all over there at Ortho Arkansas.
Anything that bends.
Literally anything that bends. May is National Joint Awareness Month, so I've been working on some stuff with them. I'll tell you this. It's better to take care of it now than put it off before it gets too bad. All right. So if it starts, go on over there right now, or you're gonna be the people who say, "I wish I would have did this earlier."
I'll be a caveat to that, or a conduit to that, I should say. Yeah, do it now. Just go get it done.
Here we go. Hey, how about this, Grant? You're gonna play for DeMarcus Love, former Arkansas Razorback tackle. Look, he said this right now. Knees so bad. Yeah. DeMarcus, if you need to get down here and go see our friends at Ortho Arkansas, let's make it happen. We got those NFL benefits for orthopedic needs to take care of the bill. All right. So, Grant, you're going to be representing DeMarcus Love today. And let's see. Josh, I'm going to give you Dennis again because Dennis really wants a mug and you lost for him last time. Okay. All right. So you're going to get Dennis. So you got DeMarcus Love and Dennis. The winner, all you have to do is shoot us a text to our fan line when it's all said and done with your address, and we'll get that mug in the mail. First topic. Would you sit the #1 pick? The reason I'm asking this, because something got brought up the other day. I was watching is it Rich Eisen? Hopefully I'm saying that right. He was having a conversation with a couple commentators. The commentators it was Daniel Jeremiah and Charles Davis. They were trading blows on the desk, talking about the #1 pick and what they should do with him. Here's a little glimpse of their argument and then we'll talk about it afterwards.
He's playing, okay? He's the number 1 pick in the draft. We've gone through this dance so many times.
Let's dance it.
Week 3, the rookie's in the lineup and playing.
I'm going to disagree with you on this. I think he's going to
Disagree all you want, take your money.
Yeah, I will disagree with you because
Charles Davis late in the draft is my favorite Charles Davis.
last I checked, Tom Brady hasn't been in this role for any other team, and Tom Brady's been on national airways forever talking about how this league fails quarterbacks and how they don't do it properly. And he went through this himself.
And let's wait and see what Tom does.
He went through this himself. He's got his guy in place, and Kirk Cousins.
Drew Bledsoe was sitting there.
I know, and Kirk Cousins is an accomplished player in this league.
Pick.
He's an accomplished player in this league.
Tom was a 6th-round pick.
Kirk Cousins is not some
He was
scrub.
not a first-round pick.
He's not going to rush him on the field. I'm just telling you. He's not going to do it.
All right, here we go. First round pick, and you're the Raiders. Do you sit your first overall pick in hopes of not, putting him in a spot he's not ready for? All right, so Josh, you're going to be on the clock first, and your time starts now.
In this case, DJ, I definitely have to sit my first overall pick.
Whoa.
Main thing is, man, NFL is different than college football. There's a big jump. And I'm not saying that Mendoza is not a great quarterback or whatever you want to say. But what I am saying is that there's still a learning curve for any quarterback that's coming from college in the NFL. And we see it all the time. The worst thing that can happen here is they throw him in the game when he's not ready to play and he starts losing his confidence. Whatever happens, things fall apart. You get him injured because he can't operate the offense efficiently. You've got Kirk Cousins with $170+ million invested in.
Jeez.
And a lot of NFL IQ that you need to make sure that passes down to Mendoza in the best way, slow roll him into this position, and let Tom Brady and Kirk both mentor this kid.
All right, here we go. Grant, you're on the clock. Your time starts now.
Yeah, so I think for this, I'm going to also sit Fernando Mendoza for the first season, at least the first season. Kirk Cousins, 12 NFL seasons, obviously been successful to varying degrees, but he's a vet. Just lost my light. Oh, no. Anyway, he's a vet that is a guy that can teach Fernando how to be a pro, how to come in and run an organization, and I don't think you want to put a guy like that in there early. My guy, whoever it was in the clip that you just showed, Tom Brady has talked for years and years about how we have failed NFL quarterbacks. And if you look at how it used to be done, there was a vet in front of a guy. Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady. Look at the best that have ever done it.
Ooh, both compelling arguments. God, I feel like, Grant, you're like a Sith Lord or something. Went to the dark side.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's kind of scary. It's fine. It's fine. It's
Man, I think that I think Tom Brady, he hit the nail on the head, man. Tom Brady is going to have to, I think exactly what should happen with them is happening.
I'll give the point to Josh. First of all, can we give a bonus shout out to Kirk Cousins of racking in multiple contracts with zero pressure? I mean, like, he goes to Atlanta, gets a 6-figure deal, and then they draft a quarterback in the first round. And then he goes to Las Vegas, the same thing, and they draft a quarterback in the first round. Like,
I just think the difference is that he knew going into the Raiders situation that they would be drafting a quarterback in the first round. And so I think that being that he knew that, there's probably conversations because Kurt wants to play. So they probably made assurances to him. Look, we're not going to do that here. We want to sit him. We want to have him develop. And if you look at like Mendoza and Kirk Cousins, like it's almost like the perfect little matchup to have them mentor each other.
Yeah. I'm very curious to see what happens and check back on those two who are arguing on the desk to see who has to say who's right. All right, next topic. Spending that money. These rookies got that NFL bag. They also got that college bag as well. Spending big money. Does Mama get a pass on this? This is from now rookie defensive lineman from Clemson. Name Peter Woods. He gifted his mom and sister 2 new Maserati SUVs. All right. Now, before we get into this, they interviewed him talking about them. I know a lot of mamas out there, they gonna like what he's got to say about it, but here's him right after he got drafted talking about the gifts he got for his family.
Speaking of the people who've helped you get here, your mother and your sister, you had quite the surprise for them. Can you break down what happened right after you were selected?
Yeah, so I ended up gifting my mom and my sister Maserati SUVs for being my mother and my sister. You know, they've held me down. You know, they've been two women in this process who have really, you know, reached out and really checked on me. But forget the process. Like, that's my mom and my sister. You know what I'm saying? And you know, they've really been there for me. You know, when the door was closed and the lights were off, and people didn't really know what was going on, but they knew. You know what I'm saying? And you know, sometimes I don't always vocalize that. Sometimes I'm busy, and so I really felt like it was important to go big and make it hit home for them because they deserve it.
Ooh, I mean, talk about. I mean, I can't argue that. You know, I mean, it's hard to argue that. His mom got interviewed after, and she quoted something from a song, essentially alluding to, "My son don't owe me nothing." All right, and so he has a good mom in his corner. Looks like he got a great sister in his corner. But fellas, we just talk about this because we know how fast these people will blow through money. All right. And right now it all seems great and it seems like it's going to keep coming. But there is a day when that well will run dry and you have to set yourself up for a sustainable future. Not just now for your family, but your new family too, kids and all that stuff. So, and I remember being in a locker room at Green Bay, sitting next to a linebacker, undrafted linebacker, made the team. All right. And it was about week 6 and we used to get checks set in our locker. All right. And he used to be like, dang, man, when they going to come through with that check? I need it. And I was just like, what the hell did you do with the one last week? Because at that time, it was minimum $48,000 a week. I was like, what did you do with $48,000 last week? You'll be surprised how fast they will blow through this money. All right, so fellas, when it comes to that big purchase of my young man getting the 2 Maseratis out of the gate, is it fine, not a big deal, or is it a reason to be a little bit concerned? Grant, you're on the clock. Your time starts now.
Well, I think there's maybe a little bit of concern there. You know, I did look it up. He's got a $9 million signing bonus and 4 years, $17 million guaranteed. So maybe I can understand it a little bit. But at the end of the day, you're setting a precedent, I think, that is the problem. It's not necessarily this one act, but it's the act that you're putting this into motion that, hey, I'm a blank check. Just come holler at me and I'll take care of it. Now, if he can lock it back in, get with some financial advisors and say, okay, hey, look, we made this one decision. We're all good. Hey, all right, you know, y'all take your Maserati and you go. I'm always here to help if I need to, but I'm not just a blank check. All right, so lock in, my man. You need it.
All right, Josh, you're on the clock. Time starts now.
Well, guys, I think that $9 million signing bonus, SUV Maserati was 150,000, something like that, maybe on a high end. So 300,000 for mom and sister. Now, what I'd be telling them if I was on the side of the table that was helping represent them, I said, listen, you want to do something for your family. I want you to do something for your family. This one-time thing isn't that big of a deal. It's the habit of doing this type of stuff is what's going to get you into hot water. I would prefer a appreciating asset like a house, something like that, that's not going to, last long term. A car is just going to lose value month over month. And from the business side of it, hey, brother, we can get you a car deal. We can find a lot better ways of putting the family in a nice vehicle. We don't have to blow this money. So it's the habit that's the issue. But I'm okay with it. I'm okay with this one-time purchase.
Okay. I'm going to give this one to Josh too. And the reason I say that because I withheld some information. But when Josh brought up the car deal, I thought it was interesting. Now, I don't know if y'all saw this at the draft party. You know where they were? They were at the Maserati dealership. All right.
Oh, and I bet he got a deal.
Then on his draft board behind him, it said NFL draft, Maserati.
Oh, yeah.
Maserati. All right.
Any smart team behind you would have already had this deal done and would have had it laid up. And whether or not you paid, you got it all for free. Maybe you just got a heck of a discount, but that's definitely a smart move.
And people out there that can afford a Maserati.
Yeah, very true.
Can afford to maintain one. That's the question.
And here we are in Arkansas talking about Maserati. All right.
Yeah,
so
might have been whatever their cost on that might have been well spent.
All right, y'all. Interesting one here. I got 2 more. So Grant, you still got a chance. All right. Last topic, and then I got a birthday for y'all. Okay. Let me get to my last topic. This will be fun. And yes, I'm going to make all you baseball fans out there mad. Every time I bring this up, Pigskin Preacher down here in Little Rock says I'm the most naive, ignorant person walking on planet Earth because I don't know anything about baseball. And he may be right, but I stand by my opinion. But I want to ask y'all first. It's National Babe Ruth Day. Arguably the greatest baseball player of all time, okay? But you see who I got next to him. You got Paul Skeens. Is it Skeens or Skeens? Skeens. Randy Johnson, the unit. Greg Maddux. Is the big Bambino competing in today's game? Or did he just benefit from playing against plumbers and electricians? And is that why he is the legend that he is today? Grant, you're on the clock and your time starts now.
No, he can't compete.
Wow.
Oh, is that it?
I yield my 40 seconds.
Oh, bold move, Grant. All right. Josh, you're on the clock and your time starts now.
See, this is the problem with young bucks nowadays. You guys don't put any respect on the past. And I think that when you look at the great Bambino, as you said, Babe Ruth, could he play in this era? Absolutely, he could play. Would it be different? Would it be a little bit different? Sure, it'd be different. But there's one thing that doesn't change over time: hand-eye coordination. We're not asking him to dunk over Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. We're asking him to have elite hand-eye coordination and be able to swing a bat with the best of them. And I don't think that that's something that necessarily changes all that dramatically from back then to right now. You're still hitting with a baseball bat, and you're still hitting a baseball, and there's still a man up there throwing it. So do I think that he could play? Absolutely. Do I think he's still one of the greatest of all time? Absolutely.
Yeah, he's one of the greatest of all time. Can't play today.
Why? Why can't he swing a baseball bat today? What changed? Something different about
Bats
the
are
air?
different. Balls are different.
You know what?
The pitch he saw in 1940 was probably 65 miles an hour.
You're thinking that a grown man in 1940 in the major leagues can only throw as fast as I could throw? Come on.
Yes.
No.
Look. All right.
So I'd have played in the major leagues in 1940.
Probably.
Oh my God! Here we go.
Gosh, you probably
see this?
played in the
I'm
MLB,
a major league
the NFL,
baseball player now, fellas.
and in the NBA in 1940.
Yeah, no. I'm a major league baseball player now. I was just born in the wrong century.
God, you would have come in second in the 100 against Jesse Owens in 1940.
Gosh. It's crazy, man.
Grant gets the
Okay,
point.
so you're telling me right now Jesse Owens can go out there on a track and just run with you.
What I'm telling you right now is that Babe Ruth
you can't.
could
You know
swing
why?
with the
Because
best
it's
of them.
up. Nah, you're
Babe Ruth could swing back then, and he can still swing today. He's standing in a batter's box and he's swinging a baseball bat.
You put Babe Ruth in a bat. You put Babe Ruth in a batter's box right now. He's not even going to see the pitch. He's going to hear it.
And say, hey, let's do a quick fact check. Let's look up what they're throwing. Fastballs in 1940.
I looked it up. It was averaging like mid 80s.
Okay.
Now,
exactly.
Now, look. The difference is what they're throwing. So I think about Andrew Davey because he told me this. I asked what happened with baseball. He says, bro, I was the truth in high school. Went straight to the league, got drafted, yeah. But then they started throwing stuff. I just could not hit. I couldn't hit it. Even if they told me it was coming. And it says that's the separation between major league players who go on and have great careers is that they're just different. And so we don't know. But
Babe Ruth,
I would
if he
assume.
was
Have you
seeing
seen
those balls? All right, let's just say.
Have you seen Paul's
10-mile-an-hour jump?
Huh?
Let's say there's a 10-mile-an-hour jump. You go from 85 to 95.
No,
well, he would have grown up in that, seeing that.
We're talking
he would
about
develop the same way our players develop now.
We're talking about this thing nowadays, Josh. It's like it has a pilot in the front seat of some of these pitches.
Go ahead, throw a one up on that blue number. I got an 8 o'clock meeting.
Okay. I already did.
You're trying to say that Babe Ruth, the best of his time, could not have continued to develop had he seen that different type of competition, and that's a crazy statement. That's a crazy statement.
We got a birthday audio clue. Grant, this is
you're standing on the back of Babe Ruth.
This is
the whole league is. I won't argue that.
Yeah.
But he ain't hitting the ball like he did back then.
He would have been developed in that, man.
Babe Ruth was going to high minor league, and then he's going to work at
you're not taking Babe Ruth and just going, all right, all you've seen is 85-mile-an-hour fastballs. Now you're going to see 80 or 98. He would have progressed the same way these kids progress today.
He's
and
not
he's
making
just
out of the
elite at it.
minor leagues nowadays.
We got a birthday audio clue. Grant, if you get this one first, then 2 people win mugs today. All right. So if you want to send D-Love a mug, you got to lock in and answer it first. We got a birthday today. This person is from Detroit, Michigan. All right. I'm going to play a song. Actually, Grant, you got a chance to win it outright. If you get it right and how old they are today, it's 2 points. All right. So here we go. Audio clue. All right.
Can't believe
Couldn't find it
this morning. Mind blowing.
Josh, are you good? You need your headphones on? Are you okay?
Oh yeah, let me go. No, I'm good. Let's go.
All right, here we go. First one to name this artist. I need the name of the artist from Detroit, Michigan.
Lizzo.
Lizzo's birthday is today.
Oh man.
Grammy Award-winning rapper and singer from the hit song Truth Hurts. It hurts sometimes, y'all. All right, we're all tied up.
Do I get a point for just humming it?
Close. Oh, we're going to get an outright winner right here. We got to nail the age. Here we go. Grant, since you answered, you're up first. How old is Lizzo today?
She is 29 years old.
Josh?
She's 31 years old.
Lizzo is 38 years old today. Born in 1988. God, look at that. There we go. What a song.
For the great Bambino, boys. For the great Bambino.
Oh, man. All right, y'all. Let's wrap it up. We're tight on time. Great show today, fellas. That was a way to start the Monday off the right way. So D-Love and Dennis Mitchell, y'all both get mugs today. Text your address, to 501-830-5255, and we'll make sure we get that mug in the mail. Thanks to everybody in the chat for hanging up with us. Donna says Grant knows his movies and music. You know, as good as we are at this, Grant, we really trashed it on the national stage at Beats the Jam.
Bad.
So bad, right?
Bad.
All right, y'all. Let's wrap this thing up. Thanks for hanging out once again. Y'all are watching 4th and 5. We got a great week lined up for you today. Still so much to talk about, even though spring ball is over with. Oh, my gosh. You know what I forgot? Actually, fellas, y'all go on and do your thing. I'm going to leave y'all with our package from Alyssa. All right. I completely forgot about baseball.
I thought you were going to run it tomorrow. I thought you were planning on running it tomorrow.
You want to run it tomorrow?
Well, I thought that's why I thought we got long-winded on some things.
Yeah,
we can do that.
Yeah, we'll run our baseball update tomorrow. Dang, completely forgot about that. It would have been a 2-hour show with no commercials. That's a good content day. All right, y'all. Thanks for hanging out. We'll recap baseball tomorrow with Alyssa Orange. We won, but it was still kind of disappointing. Yeah, we got some work to do on that baseball things. All right, I'm DJ Williams, Josh Throne, Grant Cook. Appreciate y'all watching the Morning Huddle. We'll see y'all tomorrow.